Hello everyone, Miss Gardner here. Happy Monday. Hope you all are going to have a great day of learning today at home with your family. Um, Looks like there's going to be some snow today, so that's kind of exciting. We haven't had that in a long time. I'm here today to do our second chapter of our read aloud of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So when I read to you on Friday and sent it, we read the first chapter, which was called Here Comes Charlie, and we learned all about Charlie Bucket and his family, where he lives. So we know that he's poor. He lives with both sets of his grandparents. So him, his parents, and then his Grandma Josephine, and Grandpa Joe, and Grandpa George, and Grandma Georgina, and then Mr. and Mrs. Bucket are his parents, and we know that they live in a very small house. They're poor. The grandparents share a bed together. Charlie and his parents sleep on a mattress on the floor. And we learn one thing, that Charlie loves chocolate. And there's a big factory in his town that he can see from his house, and he can also smell the chocolate being made at the chocolate factory. He loves it so much, but he only ever gets to eat one chocolate bar a year on his birthday, and he makes it last a whole month. So it's super crazy, but he loves chocolate. He can't eat it as much as he wants to. And we learned that factory in his town is called Mr. Willy Wonka's factory. So Wonka Factory, and that is the chapter title of chapter 2. Alright, so let's get started. Mr. Willy Wonka's factory. In the evenings, after he had finished his supper of watery cabbage soup, Charlie always went into the room of his 4 grandparents to listen to their stories, and then afterwards to say goodnight. Every one of these old people was over 90. They were as shriveled as prunes and as bony as skeletons, and throughout the day until Charlie made his appearance, they lay huddled in their one bed, 2 at either end, with nightcaps on to keep their heads warm, dozing the time away with nothing to do. But as soon as they heard the door opening and heard Charlie's voice saying, "Good evening, Grandpa Joe and Grandma Josephine and Grandpa George and Grandma Georgina," then all 4 of them would suddenly sit up, and their old wrinkled faces would light up with smiles of pleasure, and the talking would begin. For they loved this little boy, and he was the only bright thing in their lives, and his evening visits were something that they looked forward to all day long. Often Charlie's mother and father would come in as well and stand by the door, listening to the stories that the old people told, and thus, for perhaps half an hour every night, the room would become a happy place, and the whole family would forget that it was hungry and poor. One evening, when Charlie went in to see his grandparents, he said to them, "Is it really true that Wonka's chocolate factory is the biggest in the world?" "True?" cried all 4 of them at once. "Of course it's true. Good heavens, didn't you know that? It's about 50 times as big as any other." "And is Mr. Willy Wonka really the cleverest chocolate maker in the world?" "My dear boy," said Grandpa Joe, raising himself a little higher on his pillow, "Mr. Willy Wonka is the most amazing, the most fantastic, the most extraordinary chocolate maker the world has ever seen. I thought everybody knew that." "I knew he was famous, Grandpa Joe, and I knew he was clever." "Clever!" cried the old man. "He's more than that. He's a magician with chocolate. He can make anything he wants. Isn't that a fact, my dears?" The other 3 old people nodded their heads slowly up and down and said, "Absolutely true. Just as true as can be." And Grandpa Joe said, "You mean to say I've never told you about Mr. Willy Wonka in his factory?" "Never," answered little Charlie. "Good heavens above, I don't know what's the matter with me." "Will you tell me now, Grandpa Joe, please?" "I certainly will. Sit down beside me on the bed, and, my dear, listen carefully." Grandpa Joe was the oldest of the 4 grandparents. He was 96 and a half, and that is just about as old as anyone can be. Like all extremely old people, he was delicate and weak, and throughout the day he spoke very little, but in the evenings when Charlie, his beloved grandson, was in the room, he seemed in some marvelous way to grow quite young again. All his tiredness fell away from him, and he became as eager and as excited as he was like a little boy. "Oh, what a man he is, this Mr. Willy Wonka," cried Grandpa Joe. "Did you know, for example, that he has himself invented more than 200 new kinds of candy bars, each with a different center, each far sweeter and creamier and more delicious than anything the other chocolate factories can make?" "Perfectly true," cried Grandma Josephine, "and he sends them to all the four corners of the earth. Isn't that so, Grandpa Joe?" "It is, my dear, it is, and to all the kings and presidents of the world as well. But it isn't only candy bars that he makes. Oh, dear me, no, he has some really fantastic inventions up his sleeve, Mr. Wonka. He has. Did you know that he invented a way of making chocolate ice creams that could stay cold for hours and hours without being in the icebox? You can even leave it lying in the sun all morning on a hot day, and it won't go runny." "But that's impossible," said little Charlie, staring at his grandfather. "Of course it's impossible," cried Grandpa Joe. "It's completely absurd. But Mr. Willy Wonka has done it." "Quite right," the others agreed, nodding their heads. "Mr. Wonka has done it." "And then again," Grandpa Joe went on, speaking very slowly so now Charlie wouldn't miss a word, "Mr. Willy Wonka can make marshmallows that taste of violets, and rich caramels that change color every 10 seconds as you suck them, and little feathery sweets that melt away deliciously the moment you put them between your lips. He can make chewing gum that never loses its taste, and candy balloons that you can blow up to enormous sizes before you pop them with a pin and gobble them up. And by a most secret method, he can make lovely bluebird eggs with black spots in them, and when you put one of these in your mouth, it gradually gets smaller." Here they are telling stories. It gradually gets smaller and smaller until suddenly there's nothing left except a tiny little pink sugary baby bird sitting on the tip of your tongue. Grandpa Joe paused and ran to the point of his tongue slowly over his lips. Makes my mouth water just thinking about it," he said. "Mine too," said little Charlie. "But please go on." While they were talking, Mr. and Mrs. Bucket, Charlie's mother and father, had come quietly into the room, and now both were standing just inside the door, listening. "Tell Charlie about that crazy Indian prince," said Grandma Josephine. "He'd like to hear it." "You mean Prince Pondicherry?" said Grandpa Joe, and he began chuckling with laughter. "Completely dotty," said Grandpa Joe, "but very rich," said Grandma Georgina. "What did he do?" asked Charlie eagerly. "Listen," said Grandpa Joe, "and I'll tell you." We'll have to wait to read chapter 3 to see what happens about the Indian prince who says he's dotty, so kind of a little not the brightest, and then he's also very rich, so we'll have to see what Mr. Wonka did with him for his factory. So we will continue reading tomorrow. So in this chapter we learned all about Mr. Willy Wonka and some of the inventions he has made to his factory. Again, Carl's coming to say hi. So all the inventions that he's made and some of the really awesome candy and chocolate he has made. Alright, so I'm super excited to read the next chapter. Have a great rest of your day.